Well, hello there. Look at what I've made. Is this adorable or what? I saw something similar made out of felt. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to make a paper version of it. And they had beads instead of buttons, but I love the buttons. And all of this was all drawn on. It wasn't 3D'd on. So that's what I'm going to show you how to make today. And first, we're going to make a pattern. Alrighty. So first you need to decide first you need to find your circle. I have circle punches and I have a 1-inch circle punch, which I'm going to use. So what you need to do is look at your circle punches or your circle dies and find out what size it is that you want. So mine is a 1-inch and that's what I've used to cut this out, and that will make this cap for you. Okay, with the dangly legs. Aren't they silly? So what you're going to do is you're going to take 1 inch. If you've got a 1-inch punch, you're going to add on 1/2 inch. So we need a piece of paper that is 1.5 inches. This is 1.5 inches wide. This is 1.5 inches wide. So we're going to first we're going to make a pattern for us. So I'm going to use this piece of paper and I'm going to cut this down to 1.5 inches wide by 2.5 inches long. All right, so 2.5 inches long. There we go. And 1.5 inches wide. There we go. And that's the size that I'm going to use for my pattern because, see, that fits on there, because I have a 1-inch heart or circle punch to create the head. Okay, so you need 1/2 inch bigger because you want the body to be wider than the head. And that's what we're going for. All right. So if you've got a 1-inch punch, you need 1.5 inches wide by 2.5 inches long. If you've got a 1/2 inch punch, then you can do 3/4 of an inch wide by 2.5 inches long. Okay, so all of the animals will be the same length, but the width will change depending on what size your circle is. All right, so enough of that. So I'm going to start my pattern here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and first thing I'm going to do is glue these two together because I want them to be a little bit stronger and more sturdy. All right. All righty. So in order to get it this shape, then what we're going to do is this. We're going to take this and we're going to fold it in half because we want to find the middle. Okay. Then we're going to take our 1/8 of an inch hole punch and we're going to punch out the holes for the legs at the bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and go up a little bit, and right there I'm just going to punch the holes in the legs. Now I've got leg holes. Okay, so now I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw right on that fold line. So there's the fold line right here, and I'm going to take my 1-inch punch, and this is on the opposite side of the legs. You're going to take your 1-inch punch and you're going to line it up so that way when you snip it, that mark is right in the middle of your circle along the edge. So you can do the ears as deep as you want them. So I'm going to go about 1/3 of the way up. So I'm going to split my circle in thirds and go about 1/3 of the way up, making sure my line is marked in the middle. And then I'm just going to go ahead and ta-da! There you go. So that's what it's going to look like now. All righty. If you want them deeper, I'm looking at it going, that might be deep enough. That's okay. They don't have to be as spiky as these ones. So I think I'm just going to leave it. All right, so what you want to do is you want to fold it over now, and now we're going to trim out the ear section and the leg section. So we need a small pair of scissors. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut from the ears because we want this to be pointed, so we need to trim these corners off. And how we're going to do that is we're just going to start at the point where we want it, and then we're going to kind of round out and trim it off. Okay, and there you go. So that makes your cat ears. Now we need to make the bottom of his body. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut off this triangle here. So we're going to, I like to line my scissors up with the flat edge of the cat here, and then I'm going to start cutting, and when I start closing the scissors, I'm going to start turning the cat There you go. And cut off that corner. All right, so we've got that cut off now. Now we have our cat pattern. Wait till you see. It's that easy. Ta-da! We now have a cat. Okay? If you don't like them, if you don't like where your ears are, then just go in and you can just trim it again. You can go ahead and you can go down farther and just trim it down farther, as deep as you want to. I like it like that. I want 2 different ones, so that's fine by me. All right, so now we're going to take our pencil and we're going to draw things that are going to make us remember what we're doing with this. So first, we want to draw a nose. So just draw a circle for the nose, and then 3 whiskers, because you want to remember that. 2 little eyes, you want to remember that. You want to remember a little flower. So go ahead and just draw a silly little flower. And you might want a heart. You can do a heart off to the side or right in the middle. I kind of like it right in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that again. And that's just so that you remember how to decorate this. That's all it's for, okay? So now we've got our pattern made. So I'm going to set this one aside because I already used that one for this one. But now I'm going to use it on this one. I'm going to make another one. And I'm going to make it almost the same way with the same color. But I think I'm going to do this one probably with the heart. So, because I thought for the girls, that would be cute to have the little flower up there. But for the boy, maybe just a heart. So that'll be fun. All right, so now we know our cat is 1.5 inches wide. So we need a piece of paper that is 1.5 inches wide. So let's go ahead, and you can write that on the back. 1.5 by 2.5 inches long. Okay, 1.5 inches wide by 2.5 inches long. All right, so we need the width and the length. So we need to cut this piece of paper 1.5. And you can do it a little bit bigger if you want to feel, be more safe with your cutting. And then 2.5, I'm going to do 2 5/8 there. That way we can take this now and we can move these papers out of the way. Don't need that. Throw those in my bin. All right, now I'm going to take my glue stick and I'm just going to go ahead and put glue right on this because this is decorative paper, so it's nice and thin. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm using a part of a folder. You can also use cereal boxes if you want to. We're going to go ahead and we're going to glue this right on here. Rub that on. Make sure it's lined up against the edge. All right, turn it over, give that a nice little back rub. Okay, so now we've got our cat. So now I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to line my cat up right here and I'm going to trace around my cat. And I'm going to keep reusing the same pattern. So you want to write down pattern right on here. Okay, that way you can put that in your pattern box. All right, so now I'm going to line this up in the corner, right along the edge here, up along the edge as far as I can. Go ahead and trace around it. Okay, then we're going to trace those holes because we need to know where those holes are. All right, now when we cut this out, it should be aligned with the green paper. If it's not, we can always trim it down. So no worries with that. Okay, so let me get these scissors. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and cut this out. And just follow your line that you drew. All right, up and around. Up and around on that side. Now we can just line the punch right up with that line. I always like to do it past the line so you can see it and then pull it back. And try to line it up the best that I can and then go ahead and punch it. There you go. Now my cat ears are punched out. The same thing on the bottom. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to line this right up with the whole punch and then go ahead and snip it. And snip it. There you go. So now we have our cat all cut out. And he's all naked. We've got a naked cat. All right. Save your pattern. Set that aside. But look at it while we're doing this so that you can see how to finish this off. So now to finish it off, we don't need this part. Don't need that. All right. So, first things first, I love these legs. They're just hilarious. We need a piece of string for the legs. So, and just cut it as long, however long you want those legs. That looks about right. That looks good to me. Mine ended up being just under 5 inches. It's about 4.5 inches. So you can do it longer or shorter. So, and then we're going to take and we're going to put it from the front into the back, from the back into the front, and let those legs hang down. All right. Now we need to check out our buttons and see what color buttons we have and what size you want. So I'm going to go ahead and dump these out and find 2 buttons. And it doesn't matter if they have 2 or 4 holes. It doesn't matter what color. I kind of think it's fun to have 2 different colors. You know what? I could do a blue one and a green one. That would be pretty. Or I love orange. Orange and green. Oh, that's so pretty. We could do blue and yellow. Oh, let's do blue and yellow. Okay, I like those colors. All right, then we could put the rest of these back in here. So just play around and see which buttons you like. And the size doesn't matter either. If you want great big feet, do it. If you've got a cat with double paws, use big buttons. That would be fun. All righty, so let's put those aside. So now how to put these on. If you look on the back of mine, then you'll see I've got 2 dots. Okay, so, and what I did was I just take an extra piece of paper, just scrap paper, or you can use your cardboard, either one. The piece, I'm going to go ahead and use this. Actually, I think I do want it doubled over. I think I do want it on here. All right. Yeah, let's use this. All right, I'm going to punch this out. But we need a regular hole punch. So I'm going to take and punch 2 holes. 1, 2. Dump those out. All righty. I'm going to take my dots and I'm going to put these holes right on the dots. Line them right up. There's one, and here's another. There we go. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these off, and we're going to line it up right behind, come on, right behind the string. So line it up so that the string goes right down the center. There you go. And then we're going to take a button, and we're going to do another dot on the back of the button. And so now we've got a dot on the back of the button, a dot there. We're going to turn this up. We're going to turn this dot over, and we're going to line it up with that dot that I just put on the button. There you go. Now it is attached in between the dot that we punched. Whoops, and I just lost my other dot. The dot that we punched and the button. Oh, no, I didn't. It's right here. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take and we're going to put a glue dot on the back of the button. Okay. And if it's easier, you can use that one. You can put this one on first, but you need to remember to lay it on the front first. Okay, so I'm going to lay this on the front and go voila, and then turn that over. Make sure that's lined up. That's lined up good. Now I'm going to take this button off, and I'm going to line this one right up on top of that sticky dot. There. Okay, we've got the legs done. Ta-da! And it doesn't matter if they flip over because they look fine. The dots on the back look just fine, and they look kind of like the little pads, the little beans that are on the back inside of the paws. All right, so we've got that part done. So now we've got to finish up the face here. So let's do the face. We are going to need 1 black dot for the nose, which I already have a couple cut out, so I'm going to use this. We need 3 little pieces of string for the whiskers. So I'm going to pull some string over, and I'm going to snip them. Oh, you don't want it, you could make them longer than this if you wanted to, but I don't want to. So I'm just going to do it about that long. It might be a little long. Yep, that one's longer. That's okay. So just trim your whiskers the length that you want them. I just like to make sure they're the same sizes. All right. Now we are going to take and use another dot. And we're going to pick up these whiskers and we're going to line them up right next to the dot until you get these three lined up in the middle, because you want that dot to go right in the middle. Then you're going to lift these up and line it up right in the middle of that dot. All right, then go ahead and press it down. All right, so that's perfect. Now we're going to flip up here and we're going to take the little hole, the regular size hole punch, and we want a little black nose, or if you want a pink nose, you can do a pink nose. I chose black. Put another dot on the back of there. Pick this up and then lay it right over the middle of that dot and the whiskers. So now your whiskers are all stuck between two dots and this dot here, two sticky dots and this dot. So now we can pick this up off of the paper and it's sticky on the back. So now we can line it up right on our kitty cat here. So maybe about right there. That looks good to me. All right, so that's done. You can now play around with these. You can pull it down a little bit if you want to. I kind of like to do that and then press it down hard again. You can play around with these just to spread them out a little bit and press that down. There. All right, so now we've got the nose done. We've got the legs done. We've got the nose and the whiskers. Now we need two eyeballs. So two eyeballs, we need two little black dots. So instead of the regular hole punch, we need the 1/8 of an inch hole punch, and we need two little black dots for eyes. 1, 2. There we go. Alrighty, for this, I just used glue, and I just did 2 dots of glue. 1, 2. And then lay these on here. I think this is the hardest part because it's so tiny. But you can do it. I know you can. If you need to, you can use your tweezers. That is so cute. All right. So now he's done. Now we've got Mr. and Mrs. So now, if you want it to be made into a girl, then you can go ahead and you can add your little flower on the top. Or if you want to make it into a boy, you can add a little bow tie if you want to. You can add a heart, whatever you want to do. I think, or you could just leave it. Let me see if I think I do have a little heart. I know I had some in a baggie, but I don't know where I put a baggie full of them, of course. Let me look over here. Oh, a punch. Oh, yes, I do. Okay. I do have a little heart punch. Alrighty. There. So now we need a little scrap of red. Let me look in my scrap box here. See what I've got. Got that. That's not. I thought I had something else that was red in there. Alright, I guess I don't. See any red? All right, let me look at my red. Oh, that one's pink. Pink, pink, pink. I need the red one. Oh, yes, I've got red. Okay. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and punch out a red heart. Ta-da! That's perfect. Put that back. All righty. Then we're going to just decide, where do you want your heart? Do you want it on the side? Do you want it in the middle? Do you want it on this side? I think I liked it over here on this side. Why not? All right, so let's go ahead and squirt a little bit of glue on there. Pick that up and put it right on top of that glue. That is so adorable. It's just too cute. Okay, so now let's pick these up and I'll show them to you. Here's the girl and here's the boy. Are they adorable or what? There. Now we've got male and female. They're just so fun. Now, ideas to do with these. I'm going to put them on cards, of course. I'm going to put one of them on a card. The other one, my sister gave me a cute idea and said, Barbara, that matches your kitchen. Put a magnet on the back. So that's what I'm going to do with one of them is put, or I might put them both. I might do them both. That would be hilarious to have his and hers. So, but you can put a magnet on the back and use them as magnets. You can put a paper clip on the back and make it a clip, so that way you can attach it to a journal in that way, or on a scrapbook page. You can use it in a journal or on a card, which is probably what I use most of mine for, is on cards. And let those feet dangle. That's so fun. So, alrighty. You can definitely use them on a scrapbook page. I think that would be really adorable. So I hope you like this idea and you'll give it a try. Pull out a piece of cardboard or cardstock. Pull out just a small piece. All you need is 1.5 by 2.5 piece of decorative paper. You can also use solid colored cardstock if you wanted to. You don't have to use decorative paper, but I just thought that was cute. So go ahead and pull out your supplies and have fun with this. And I hope you like this idea and you'll give it a try. And until we meet again, happy crafting. Bye-bye.